like I said, it's time for that topic that is very much heavy because I've got my reservations. I won't say anything today, but in studio right now is Pastor Simba, the founder and programs coordinator of Strong Bonds Marriage Africa, the author of the book titled The Marriage Handbook, and he is also a pastor at Praise City Church. Pastor Simba, sawubona unjani? Mina ngiyaphila shem, akula engakhombela ngakho namhla konke ku right. Kodwa
Yeah.
lo mvunzo lo uyangiyethusa mina.
Before we get there, you know, your playlist today was just something else.
Is it?
I could tell the things are happening in your world. Nice things.
Yeah, they are. I don't even want to lie. God has been good to
You know,
me.
you were just playing our favorite songs. you started with, you played Mtande, right? By Musa.
Yes, I did.
That's actually my Mfundi's favorite.
Oh, is it?
And then you also played Kedu. Yo. Come on, guys. The Bible is very clear. You know, Mtande says, love your person, right?
Yes.
And that's what the Bible says in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, isn't it? It says that varume idai madzimai enyu. So, yeah. I'm sure you won't be offended, Zah, if you get into your pastor's car and once our pastor wachirowa my love songs, wachiza my love songs.
I would be so happy for my Mfundis. I would be like, oh, this woman is loved.
Of course, we listen to an Messiah and all, but there are times where you also, you know, listen to songs that also remind you of your person. And I see nothing wrong with that.
Yes. Celebrate your present. No, me.
And, you know, I just want to say to all the women, happy Women's Month. And I also want to challenge my brothers out there. Please, let's do something for the women, something special as we celebrate with them. You know, it's a month long, so there's no excuse. I could share time say if it was just one day on the 8th of March, yes, you can come up with an excuse and say, okay, on the 8th of March I was occupied in all that. But come on, it's a whole month. Find something that you can do.
Pastor Simba, you know what? I need you to stay up until 12:30 today. I need all that you've said to feed into the TXO. It's very important.
TXO.
Yes, that they hear those words. We have the whole month.
Yeah, we need to teach our monks how to show appreciation to the women. They need to do that.
Please.
In this whole month of March. We need to plan, you know, something special, a special activity for the women. I'm just giving ideas, gents, something that you can do to celebrate women. You know, just plan something special for them. Just give them a thoughtful gift. Just anything. Cook a favorite meal. Help her with household chores. Take her out for shopping. That's their favorite. You won't go wrong with this one. Take it out for shopping. Just also make an effort to understand the world that they live in, their world. You know, what are their fears? What are their, you know, things that they aspire to do or things like that. So just get into their world, get in touch with their love maps. It's important in the month of March. I'm just, you know, saying to my brothers, let's just do something different this month. And it,
Pastor Simba, not only are you a blessing to Pastor Glory, even to all of us right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zah. You're most welcome. So let's get to our questions, Zah. We've got a very big question today that we're trying to address. Who cheats more, men or women? Who cheats more? Do you want me to give you the answer right away?
Please, because I have my reservations and they're giving me Asha. Please.
Drum roll, please. Yes. Both. Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And I will explain why I say both. Because I'm sure many of you were thinking with my gender. But, you know, I have a different thinking regarding that. You know, both genders have something to, you know, something that we can actually say this gender does A, B, C, D, and the other one also, they also play a big part. Saka to explain what is happening out there in as far as cheating. Who cheats more, men or women? I want you to understand your part if you're a man women, I want you to understand your part as well. The cheating that goes around your world, in your world, and all that. So, but before we go there, I also want to just point out a few things that we want to say. The consequences in the aftermath of an adulterous relationship, in the aftermath of an affair. What are the consequences? Because consequences. Many people don't think about that when they get into these things, but there's consequences. Just like speed thrills, uri pahighway paipa uchimhanya zvichita muzvikunakidza unenge uita ngwakapenga uchisiya dzimwe mota, but the moment you crash, I mean, so the same applies to even my issues in my affairs. It may look like it's something like the Bible plainly says good stolen waters are sweet, and people go into that and enjoy in quotes, but the consequences are heavy. For instance, the betrayed, a betrayer or watch, the faithful partner, they're going to struggle with anger issues, sadness, confusion, start where are we going, trust issues, self-esteem issues, confidence. So that's how far they can be, that's the extent to which they can be affected by affairs, by infidelity. Post-infidelity stress disorder, depression and all those things. That's a possibility. Because they've gone through a lot and they are now in depression. Then number two, the betrayer. The betrayer is also part of the equation. In the Kajiji culture, we throw stones at the betrayer, and all those things. But I also want you for a moment to understand what they're going through. They don't show it because of pride, because of ego. But deep inside, they're going through guilty. They're experiencing my emotions, they're guilty. What I did was just wrong. Though I can come out in the open and own up and all these things, I have to find an excuse and all that. That's what most people do.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that deep inside, guilt, guilt, regret, affect our issues. And also the social isolation. If my friend is in an adulterous affair, it means to avoid and my wife will be very clear with Simba, don't be found around that person. So that person will be isolated socially by many other people. So those guys, through all these things, they also suffer in some way or another. Saka, we must also look at that as well. And I wish at time I was also going to talk, to go deeper in this so that people understand what will be happening in the mind of a betrayer, in the mind of a cheat. They go through moments of regret, guilt, and all those things, how to process all those things. Maybe Momusi charge better. Then there's also children. They are also part of the equation. Because they are part of the family, they are also going to suffer. And like I said last time, when two elephants are fighting, the grass suffers.
Yeah.
And many times it's the children that suffer because of Nyadzima, but we don't see it. Because they know, they understand the vibe, the negative vibe, they also feel it. And they suffer. Anxiety, depression as well. Imagine when I'm through depression. For an adult person, maybe they may have an idea on how to handle depression caused by Nyadzima affairs. But imagine what we are putting on our kids. Mwanani 11 years, they have to go to school. At the same time, they're coming from a almost broken home, and a home that has been affected by infidelity. Imagine the pressure, the amount of pressure that they'll be going through, dealing with all these emotions. Even when you look at them in their long term, in the long term, when you look at their relationships as well, they will also struggle to be faithful or to trust. They'll struggle. So panika generational influence can when people cheat on their spouses. You are not only cheating on your husband or your wife, but you're also cheating on your kids. You're also cheating on God, who is actually part and parcel of the covenant. So also but all these other interested parties. Another party that is also affected is the extended families. My parents, my siblings, you might think it doesn't affect them. It will affect them. Somehow it will affect them. I no longer have respect in the community. That is happening in many situations. So please think twice before you get involved in an affair. Look at all these people that you are putting in that space. Yokuti vacharwadziwa, vachanzwa kunyara, and all those things. And some families actually get divided because of one person who has had an affair. Because they want to take sides with that person. They're saying, you know what, in this family we don't do this. So it affects everyone involved. So please don't even go that route. Okay. We are going back to the question. I'm not running away from the question.
Yes, because my WhatsApp, they're like, Pastor Simba, the question is, who cheats more?
Okay. All right. Hebrews chapter 12, verse number 4. Please, this is my absolute favorite verse, and please mark that verse. Hebrews 12, verse 4. It says that marriage is to be held in honor among all, and the marriage bed is to be undefiled. For fornicators and adulterers, God will judge. I love that scripture because it's very clear. We must all honor the marriage bed. Whether you're a man, whether you are the woman in that relationship, we must all honor. Meaning that tese takatodaro tinogona kutotadza, tinogona kutopinda into affairs, whether you're a man or a woman. So we both can end up in that space where we are having affairs. Now, when it comes to men, when it comes to men, I want to believe that men face a lot of opportunities. That's why most of them end up affairs, because of the opportunities. They are always found in those places where these things are likely going to happen. They come home late, most men. And I know there are a number that come home in Nguva, but there are some that come home late, and they actually put themselves in that situation. They'll end up being in an affair because they are hanging around in what I call high accident zones. Ukatambira murudo definitely unotsikwa.
Of course.
So you know exactly the places and the times. Zokuti ndikaramba ndiri panzvimbo yakadai, so I'll end up, engaging engaging in an affair partner or something like that. So you know those people, you know those places, you know the times. Please stay away from high accident zones. Okay, and as I'm saying this, I'm pointing out the point that men face a lot of opportunities because they stay home, they stay away from home. More than women. Of course, now fast forward, some women are also staying at work late because of work and other things. So the opportunity then increases. The further you are away from your home, or the longer you are away from home, the chances of you straying unattached quilo as well. That's why we say, even when it comes to long distance relationships, that must only be for a season. There must be a plan. Things must not remain like this. One day we need to come together and stay together instead of you uruku in indru ukuku. It must be something that is temporary, and that period must be defined. There must be steps, a plan in place. This is how we try. This is how we're going to come out of this situation that we find ourselves in, so that we move from long distance relationship to short distance relationship, from an LDR to an SDR. So that's the goal, isn't it? So we must reduce the opportunities. Okay, we must reduce the opportunities. Then with women, those that cheat, it's because of that self-discovery. It's self-discovery. You are now aware of certain things, that even generations that were before us, they were not aware of those things. You are now aware of your emotional needs. So if they are not being met, you try to look for someone who can actually meet those emotional needs. That's why you find that a good number of women then end up, having affairs, because they are seeking for validation that they are not getting from murume wake or from their boyfriend. Mind you, when it comes to boyfriend and girlfriends, the statistics are crazy. I'm told with 54%, at least 54% of my relationships are not pair a boyfriend and girlfriend. Is because of double dating, because of cheating. So it's something that is affecting everyone, whether you are still single or you are married. That's why you need to understand these things. So the self-discovery, that's one thing that actually leads a lot of women astray. They want their emotional needs met. So what's the solution to that? Please always check in with your partner. Kutshamari, am I meeting your needs? It's important to have such discussions, because if we don't, we are setting up our partners for infidelity and all that. So let's sit down and discuss our needs. But I'm also aware that there are some people that have their needs met, but they'll still stray. Variko vakadaro. Unotoshamisa kuti inga ndaimuitira zvese but they still strayed. Okay, because my affairs, they come in different shapes, in different forms. That's why you need to understand what type of an affair is this? What led to this affair? What are the drivers? What are the underlying issues? Because every affair is different. You don't, it's sort of straight jacket kind of a thing. Affair, there are some people that are loved everything, but they still have problems with the infidelity. Okay, so with most women, they cheat because of the issues that I'm talking about. Their emotional needs are not being met, so that's why they end up getting into emotional affairs. So when I say it, both genders cheat, and you can't say cheater more than the other, and they hip. You find with Vakadzi, they actually cheat more when it comes to emotional affairs, because it's a special need that they have that comes in their top 3 needs. And if that is not met, Mumba, they will find it out, somewhere else. They'll outsource for that. Saka varume, please make sure that you are there to validate your women. They are always looking for that validation. You are there to meet their emotional needs because they are emotional beings. Make sure you are there. You are active in terms of taking care of that part or of that need that they have. There's also economic emancipation for most women now that they're economically, in a good place. So they would also want to do what men have always been doing.
Yeah.
It's like, you talk of girls' trips. Girls' trip. God knows what else happens there with my girls' trip. Can we talk about this another day?
Yes.
Because I need to understand what happens with my girls' trip.
I will be happy to tell you that we'll be sitting painting each other's toes the whole night watching movies.
Yeah, and I've also realized that when women cheat, in most cases, it's revenge. That's why I said it's important to understand good affair type people. Can I revenge affair? It's mostly because mun arwadziswa and adakuratsa umwe. And most women, like I said to you, it's emotional needs that are not being met, so they end up in emotional affairs. Kana kuti revenge affair because their partner has cheated on them, and vakuda kunyatsoita tit for tat. So that's how things happen. Then with men, most men cheat because of we struggle when it comes to handling midlife crisis. Kuna period means midlife from 35 to 50, somewhere there. Varume vazhinji, we struggle with midlife. There's a lot that happens to a man. I'm saying this so that Vakadzi understand our foot the word varume. Why do they then end up having affairs? Because varume vacho confusion in that season. From 35 to 50, they actually have a lot of confusion around them. They are easily irritable. They've all of a sudden, fitness obsession. I'm part of that age group. I know what I'm talking about. Fitness, they're trying to assume a new life. It's common with most men in that age group, and they're also trying to run away from certain things. They also change how they look. And when 35 to 50, and I'm one of them, but it's called midlife. And unfortunately, a lot of these men then end up in what we call midlife affairs, midlife crisis affairs, however you say it, but it's the same thing. We end up in that space because of these changes that are happening to us between 35 and 50. And on the other hand, our women are also going through what is called menopause. And because of that, you find if we are not careful and we are not aware of these things, the distance between the two of us will then grow.
Yeah.
Because my wife is struggling with menopause. She's also irritable. She's also going through those hot flashes. She's also demanding of my emotional needs that are not being met, things like that. So it's a whole subject on its own. And that then affects our relationship, and one then ends up having an affair. So during menopause period, during midlife crisis, men are facing their own issues, women are facing their own issues. There's my affairs are not capable, and pamopacho, it's not even affairs, just the fear of an affair. Kungofunga uti maybe mwangu is having an affair. Kungofungidzira chet. It happens in that period. Menopause and midlife crisis, particularly for men. So ma-age group edu aya kana takuma-35 zvichikwira kudai, so statistics says kuti infidelity inotoincrease. Did you know that, sir? Kuti younger couples don't have a lot of issues when it comes to infidelity, but older couples, you know, 55 going up there, affairs. Why? Because of how we're trying to handle midlife crisis and menopause issues, and we've also neglected my needs because of my responsibilities and all those things. So that is the period where one needs to be very careful. My affairs, they are likely going to happen time yo. And then you begin to think, okay, when we were still in the infants of our marriage, none of this was happening. But from nowhere, anima mangani 40, 45, 50, it is because of these things that we're talking about. So please, where you can, sit down, discuss your needs. Are the needs being met so that you can protect each other from nyadzima affairs? Remember, my affairs can happen. Mdzimai wako can have an affair, murume can have an affair. Apana gender toti ndio ega ine exclusive rights, ine monopoly over nyadzima affairs. Everyone can actually end up in an affair if we ignore these facts. We'll continue to talk about this in probably in the next session next week. But please, if you want to join my WhatsApp broadcast list, send me a message 0773 000 000. A WhatsApp message 0773 000 000. I need your name and your marital status so that I can put you in a respective WhatsApp broadcast list. But for now, please remember to love God, love people, and love relationships.
Thank you so much, Pastor Simba, for that. Baneng Abat, you know what? My husband is married to my phone. My husband is cheating online. Ngani mnandile sizayiphinda futhi next week. Kanchopela, same time, same place. Thank you so much for joining me on the Morning Galaxy. It's been fun. It's been great. It's been good. It's nice. But from me to you, it's Anavoa, Dasvadanya, Tochikiane Kwaheri. It's 12 o'clock and it's time for the news.
Toll-free number, the Drug and Substance